Hello and welcome to another science unit. This is Unit 5, Grade 5, Shadows. My name is Joanne Gertschler. The topics we're going to be looking at today. Number 1, the vocabulary for the unit. Number 2, that light travels in straight lines. 3, which materials let light through and which don't. Silhouettes and the size of a shadow. Shadow lengths and how they change, and how scientists measured and understood light in the past and now. So the vocabulary. In this part of the video, we will revise the main vocabulary words introduced in this topic. You will see the English word, the meaning of the word, a sentence using the word, and a picture. So the first word is opaque. Here's a picture of opaque objects. The meaning, does not allow light to pass through. If you hold an opaque object up in front of your face, you will not be able to see anything else. The table is opaque. I can't see through it. Transparent. Look at the different pictures. A glass. A lens, a contact lens, clear plastics, a diamond, water, air, cellophane sheet. It allows all the light to pass through. You can see completely through the object. I can see through the window. It's transparent. And then we have translucent. If you look at these objects, can you see all the way through them? It allows some light to pass through. Sunglasses are translucent. They only let some of the light through. Silhouette. The shadow that is made when you hold an opaque object between light and a screen. The silhouette of the dinosaur was very big. Sundial. Meaning a shadow stick used to tell the time before clocks. The sundial uses the sun to tell the time. Noon. What time is it? Well, it's 12 o'clock or midday. At noon, we eat lunch. Prism. A 3D object made of transparent material. The prism shows lots of different colours. Refraction. Look at what's happening to the pencil. The bending of light when it passes from one material to another. The sun shines through the raindrops and gives a rainbow. This is refraction. So the second part of the video, that light travels in straight lines. These are the main ideas. Shadows form when the light is blocked by a solid, opaque object. Light always travels in straight lines. So look at these pictures. You've got the sunlight coming through the woods, a beam of light in the lighthouse, the shadows of the trees, sunlight through windows, a laser light show, sunlight through the clouds, and shadows and reflections. How are they coming through? Are they curvy? Are they zigzag? No, they're all travelling in straight lines. You can only see what is directly in line with the tube and the inside of it. This is because light travels in a straight line. So the only light entering your eye has travelled along the tube. That's why we can't see around corners. We can draw a ray diagram to show the path of light travelling from a light source to your eyes. If you look at it, you've got the light, you've got the eyes. It can be any source of light, natural or man-made. We've got that light ray moving in a straight line, and you've got your eye. The arrow shows the direction in which light travels. Part 3. Which materials let light through? Opaque materials do not let light through. Translucent materials let some light through. Transparent materials let all the light through. So if an object is opaque, it means no light can pass through it. It blocks the light. If you look at the picture, no light comes through to the other side of the box because the box is opaque. If an object is translucent, it means that some light passes through it, but the light is scattered so you can't see clearly through it. You can see that the light is moving in a straight line, but not all the light is coming through. Transparent. If an object is transparent, it means light completely passes through it and you can see clearly through it. Now, we have shades of shadows. Number 1, being transparent, you can completely see it through it. Number 5, totally opaque. 2, 3 and 4 would be translucent materials. So let's have a look at some objects. An apple. On the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where do you think it would be? I think it would be 5 because it's completely opaque. What about the glass? Is it transparent, opaque or translucent? I'm saying number 1 because it's completely transparent. Chocolate. 5, again, opaque. You cannot see through it. A diamond. That's a translucent material. But you can still see quite a lot of light, so I've said number 2. Cellophane paper. I'm saying a 3. You can see through it. It is translucent, but it's getting a bit more difficult to see. A window. Well, of course you can see through the window panes. Number 1, it's transparent. And the last one is a stained glass window. You can see through it, the light will come through, but not very much light, so I've said number 4. Part 4, silhouettes and their size. A silhouette is a solid image of a person or thing. The size of a shadow changes by the position of the person or object. A silhouette is made when an opaque object is held between a light source and a screen. What do you think this silhouette is? It's a hedgehog. You can still see the outline of the shape. We've got Ariel from Little Mermaid. Of course, Mickey Mouse. And what animal? A cat. So how do shadows change? Well, shadows can change their size. As light moves towards the object, the shadow becomes larger. As light moves away from the object, the shadow becomes smaller. You can see in this picture, the rabbit is far away from the light, so the shadow is small. But in this picture, the rabbit is close to the light, so the shadow is large. It can also change its shape. Shadows depend on their light. As the light moves closer, the shadow becomes longer and wider. As the light moves away, the shadow becomes shorter and thinner. You can see the 2 examples on the left-hand side. The house is closer to us, so it's longer and wider. The second house is further away, so the shadow is shorter and thinner. The length of the shadows. Well, shadows change in length and position throughout the day, and we can tell the time using a sundial or a shadow stick. Have you noticed that your shadow doesn't always look the same? How long or short the shadow is depends on how high or low the sun is in the sky. If you look at this picture, 3 different shadows. The first shadow is quite long. The second shadow is quite short, and the third shadow is longer again. But why? When the sun is high in the sky, the shadow is shorter. If the sun is low in the sky, then we get a longer shadow. To tell the time without a watch or a clock, we can use a shadow stick, and you can see you've got the stick, you've got the length of the shadows. Early in the morning and late in the afternoon, the shadows are long. At noon, the shadow is the shortest. Or we could use a sundial. Again, you can see the shadow showing the time. You can see the hour numbers. And the path of the sun across the sky, the shadow on the sundial moves. So finally, how scientists measured and understood light in the past. We found out that ideas have changed about light over hundreds of years. Scientists have different ideas about light and explain the ideas by observations and evidence from experiments. So let's think about some different scientists. If we think about scientists' ideas about rainbows, well, we have Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, a Greek scientist. He thought that rainbows were made by clouds reflecting sunlight. A few hundred years later, we've got Shenku. He thought that the sunlight hit the rain to make rainbows. And then more recently, we have Sir Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton showed that sunlight is made of different colours, and that's why we get a rainbow. So how do scientists find out new ideas? Well, they find out new ideas by observing things, looking at what's going on. They do lots of experiments to test their ideas. Sometimes it doesn't work. It doesn't matter, they do it again. And they use new technology to find out evidence. So in this video, we've learnt that light always travels in straight lines. We've learnt that different materials let different amounts of light through. And we've learnt that opaque objects make shadows. We've also learnt that shadows change during the day. Thank you for watching this video. Please watch the other videos for grade 5.